teammates, his loved ones. Your name carries a lot of weight. I've always said, when you speak names of individuals and they speak highly of you when you're not in the room, that means you've done a good job and a job well done. This young man has done an excellent job, and we wanted to make sure that we say that as a community. We should embrace one another now and let that be our starting point to recovery. So with that said, we'll move forward to our next point of matter, athletic trainer update.
Thank you, Mr. Curtin. I am going to present the report on the athletic trainer update, and after that, Dr. McLean is going to present the report on air conditioning. Board, as you know, there is so much inaccurate information and speculation circulating in our city. And I thought it would be helpful if I gave you an entire chronology of what actually contributed to the 2-week delay in us having an on-site athletic trainer at Hopewell High School. I will also, where appropriate, address the misinformation circulating on social media around any suggested connection that this might have had that this might have had to the tragic death of Jay. And I know that all of you know this, most of you know this, but I think our public needs to know it too, so bear with me. As you know, Board, every year for the past several years, due to our declining financial status in the city, we start our budget development process in the hole. We continue to be blessed with only level funding each year, while our operational costs continue to increase. Year before last, as I know you remember, we did not receive all of the funding we were promised locally, and we had to find the money mid-year. That came from cuts, as you may remember. We also had to find that amount this fiscal year, as the same costs have continued to exist and increase. For example, utilities. Around February and March of each year, as we always do, this year the same, we began our official budget development process, anticipating almost $2 million of needed new money to offset 2 years of those deficits. We started to identify potential cuts we might have to make. During this time, there was a high degree of uncertainty with our local budget situation, as well as the state budget had yet to be resolved, and that's not unusual in early spring. One of many potential cuts were identified. In the end, there were 33 positions that were potentially identified, which would have been catastrophic, but $2 million of money is a lot of money to find in a budget. Fast forward to about the beginning of May, our finance director reworked our local budget slightly and was able to identify funding for at least a part-time athletic trainer position, which in some surrounding systems is the norm. It is not the norm for us, and we still fully support full-time athletic training services at Hopewell High School. Our practice under these circumstances every year is typically to notify people of positions that could be potentially cut as early as we possibly can, for the obvious reason, just as a heads up before we ultimately finalize and adopt our official budget, somewhere between May and June typically. We did that with all persons impacted, potentially impacted, and on May 6th, we received a written response from our full-time athletic trainer at that time that she would not be able to accept part-time work. And we understood that. Hated it, but we understood it. She was not let go. She resigned her position for that reason, understandable reason, effective at the end of her contract, June 30th. By the end of that month, May, both our local and state budgets were finalized and adopted. That's unusual, but a great thing for this year. Another great thing was that the state budget included a moderate amount of discretionary new monies, and the budget was immediately adjusted back to a full-time athletic trainer position for this fiscal year. At that time, our former athletic trainer was notified and offered the full-time position, and she declined. At that time, I personally, and that's not typical, but I personally began working with VCU to develop a contract with them to provide athletic training services to Hopewell High School. Unfortunately, they had none available. There is a significant shortage of athletic trainers in Virginia. The demand far exceeds the supply. Our athletic director made contact with another contracted company named Go4, G-O, the number 4, in July. We have been working with them ever since, and we finalized a contract with them the 1st of August for this school year to begin on-site athletic training services not later than Monday, August 12th. This Monday is coming up. It was also during this time, and this is about late July, that to ensure we were pursuing all possible avenues for full-time trainers that we prefer to directly supervise and employ, we also began advertising for our own athletic trainer, and to date, as we expected, sadly, have no applications. This contract with Go4 will take us through June 30th, or this fiscal year and school year of 2025, and we will continue to both recruit locally as well as pursue partnerships again, potentially with VCU and or Bon Secours, another local provider who currently has no available qualified candidates available for us. So just a few reminders, board athletic trainers are not mandated, although they are very important. We will never waver in our commitment to have them on our staff and present as much as they can be for our athletic contests and practices. We have never indicated anything different from this. Athletic trainers cannot be in more than one place at any time, obviously. At this very time and athletic season, we have 5 sports practicing every day and already involved in some BHSL contests. They practice during the same window every day. Some are indoors, some are outdoor. Football may practice in 3, 4, sometimes 5 different areas on any given day. This year we have over 100 young men playing football. It is absolutely impossible to think that a trainer could be present at any given practice or even all games. That is not the norm in any district in the state. They are not funded positions, and as such, many districts smaller to ours cannot afford them and do not have them. We are proud that we do, and we will continue that commitment and prioritization of these important services to support our athletic programs. We've prioritized these positions in the 10 years I've been here, and many years before that, I understand. And while some financial circumstances made this year unique, we have again prioritized this important position and role in our local budget and highest priorities. Thank you.
No, thank you for the update, I appreciate that.